It's going to be a big deal. We're going to need to make sure that those basic services are there.
In my opinion, the improvements are necessary and vital for the long-term sustainability of Ada.
I'm excited to get it at least a block away from the downtown area.
The location that was chosen was the best one that we had found.
I think the most important thing would be to think about the men and women that are protecting our city and serving our community.
Well, for one, I think it's extremely important that they have the spaces and the utilities to do what is needed.
To me, Main Street will always be kind of the hub of Ada business.
But it will also make it a more pleasant environment for people to shop and entertain and eat out.
It's important to me, and I hope it's important to a lot of people out there.
I think it's important that we do this right the first time, that we identify with certainty what needs to be done, the specifics of each of the penny projects.
When we first started on this journey roughly 3 years ago, none of us really realized it was going to take this long. But throughout the entire process, the focus has been on getting it right. No matter if it took 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, we knew that we had to get it right.
Oh, I think that we'll look back 20 years from now at what we've done over the past few years with this Penny for Your City tax, and we'll see that we made huge strides forward for the city of Ada. None of these are short-term projects. We don't have any project that we're working on that will only last a couple of years. I mean, these are all buildings and improvements that we'll see 30, 40, 50 years still being used by the city of Ada.
We're talking about projects that will need to provide service to our citizens for the next 100 years. And so it's imperative that we identify the needs, and those needs are based on what our citizens need as well as want.
It's very important to continuously invest in our city's infrastructure. We have the opportunity to bring in new business, bring in new talented workforce, and help retain the ones that we have. And having a city that invests in itself and plans for its future is very important to those components of economic development.
Making sure that we understand that need, we convey that need to the planners and the architects and the engineers so they can properly design our projects that ultimately provide the service that we need, considering future expansion and growth, so that we can all experience a higher level of quality of life.
In August 2010, voters approved a 1-cent sales tax known as Penny for Our City. With a 5-year lifespan, that penny tax is earmarked for 5 essential capital improvement projects with long-term impacts on the community. Those 5 projects are a new fire station, a new police station, a new sports complex, Main Street improvements, and a water system engineering study. Since Penny for Our City is a sales tax, that means visitors to Ada also contribute to these projects. Since collections began in November 2010, the Penny for Our City sales tax has generated more than $13 million in revenue. If current collection rates hold steady, that number will pass $18 million by the time the sun sets on the tax at the end of 2015. In 2010, the city budgeted a total of $15 million for these projects. Although it has taken a while to reach the construction phase, there is an added benefit. The collections on the Penny for Our City sales tax have generated extra interest, which will help maximize the funds available to execute these very important projects. The sales tax has also allowed the city to avoid having to borrow any money to make these improvements. Now that all the preliminary work has been done and a majority of funds have been collected, the city is getting close to turning some dirt on these projects. Citizens will soon see tangible visual progress and be assured that their tax dollars are going to be well spent.
The citizens over the next year can expect to see the projects coming to fruition in their final stages. All the studies are complete, Any and all land that would need to be acquired for our Penny projects has been acquired. The sites have been identified, buildings located, needs assessments performed, and currently the architects, the engineers, and the planners are all in their final stages of preparing the necessary documents to begin the construction activities.